and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions that will affect our community, and we ask you to bless our community and every one of our residents. We ask you to bless and protect our employees, our police officers, first responders, and Father, we thank the members of the military, both past and present, and ask that you keep them safe. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
It looks like everybody's here. So, thank you. Okay, minutes.
Motion.
Okay.
We didn't get,
You didn't get any minutes?
or you going from two?
From the last council meeting, yeah.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Bills.
Motion for bills.
Second. Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Hourly workers' time report.
That's what you don't have.
We don't have.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, we'll go to fireman's time.
Motion. Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Rich, you're up first.
The auditors are still continuing to work on the information for 2018 and 2019. A little over a week ago, I got contacted for more copies. It was the third set of copies of the same documentation. The first time they didn't use it, give it back. The second time they lost it. Now I've copied it the third time.
You had to pay us.
Yeah. I gave Councilwoman Richards a copy of information for the class she signed up for new council people. I think they're turning it into like a webinar session, and she'll let you know whether she can attend it or if we have to cancel it altogether. I continue to work on the information for the CARES Act. They have not made it easy for any of us. And Stark County found out by talking to some of the small communities that a lot of the bills that they do have don't apply to the CARES Act, and they don't even want to bother doing the paperwork. They're asking us to do the paperwork. Because if we do the paperwork, and even though we may not have enough money to apply, we can use that money, give it to Stark County to apply, and put it under their information. We had a cemetery meeting that lasted about a half an hour. Was it last Monday?
Last Friday.
Last Friday? Okay. And I don't have the minutes done yet, but there are several items we're working on that once they're done and completed, we will bring information direct to council. Each of the other copy let you know there's an Open Records Act, and I copied the page I have, but that didn't have the information on where to sign up for the act. I'm thinking it's OML, but I'm not sure. I'll have to get that for you. I was contacted Sunday evening by one of the women that lives in Eagle Terrace. Some of the older residents are having a really tough time. It started around the time the COVID did. Some of these older people don't have cars. They can't get to the places where they're giving out food. So I took down some groceries today, and I gave a donation, and they're asking if anybody would like to donate. They will track all the money that's spent. They put it in their community room and let the residents come in and take what little they need. They have everything that I took down today, plus extra from a few pieces of food and items from last week. They try to set out a few things each week to help these residents get by. We have the second reading of legislation. It's ordinance number 2007. It was the increasing of the 2020 appropriations for the receipt of the money from workers, Ohio Bureau of Employment Services, Ohio Jobs and Family Services. That's who it was from. It'll be your second reading. And we have the first reading of ordinance number 2008, an ordinance in the matter of fulfilling the requirements of the Ohio Senate Bill 310 for the passage of legislation in order to receive and expend federal funds under the section 5001 of the Coronavirus Air Relief and Economic Stimulus Act. For your first reading, when is this, do you know, Stephen, when it's due? Is it middle of July?
I believe it's, yes, but it's very fluid right now.
They're still changing it.
I think the House made changes and sent it back, so it hasn't been signed by the governor, so it's really not in effect yet.
That's the first reading? Okay.
But at the next meeting, we may need to revisit that and see.
Okay. And thank you, that's all I have.
Okay, visitor speaker, Gary.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Haven't seen you for a while.
Did you sign in, Gary?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay, that's okay, I'll make sure I get it.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I have a lot of questions I'd like to answer. Since, we just brought up the, cemetery, who pays for that?
What do you mean, who pays for that?
Who pays for the care of it?
We do, we have an endowment fund. That
Taxpayers or what?
No.
No, the people that buy,
Oh, okay,
A lot.
all right, I'm just curious, you brought it up, I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
And on the last time there was a, open space for council, I was wondering how you come to the decision of which one to pick.
and they take a vote after they.
I mean, what's the reason? I mean, one better than the other, or
No, not really.
you
It
gonna
was
flip the coin and it would've worked?
probably they're both qualified. I mean, the council took a vote and then that was it.
Well, what'd they vote on? I mean, what,
They voted on who they wanted. After they interviewed both candidates, they voted on who they wanted. They only had two applicants.
okay. And you might not like this, but, due to the fact that council thought that they had the authority to take my constitutional rights away, which you do not, because of a fake virus, you might think there's a virus, I happen to know that there's not. And, I'm requesting all oaths of office, all oaths of office, all oaths to the Constitution. I'm requesting all oaths of office and oaths to the Constitution from each and every employee who is required to by law. This is including any and all tax personnel, along with any certifications.
Yeah, we have a,
Okay, thank you. And I have another question. On the water contract, where are we at with that?
it's passed.
It's passed. So council passed that?
Yeah, it's just a two-year contract with Canton.
Okay, now, I have a question for, I guess it would be Mr. Babick. We get our water from Canton, we pay 150% more. They bring it here to Beach City, and we just got another raise on our water. And then council have said that you can't even drink it. Is there a lawsuit there?
No, during the negotiations, we met with the city. I guess to your first point with regard to the increase, I would generally agree it was unfortunate that in February, I believe, the city had adopted an increase. The new contract was then ratified in March. So that increase had already been passed along. I think it's unfortunate that during our negotiations, we weren't made aware that there was that increase that was coming. However, in the new contract, we have included in there a provision that that they would give the village advance notice of any increase. I wanna say it's at least 30 or 60 days. 60 days?
Yes.
Okay, so there's notice that'll have to be given, and then that the increases will be uniform, whether inside or outside. So if we get an increase, they're going to have that same increase passed to other customers.
Okay,
I don't think the 3% that was in on that, I don't think we use that. The one that he's talking about, I believe is the one that they passed 5 years ago that went with
Okay.
EA, because that was the last one to try to get the water fund up.
Okay.
But the other one, yeah, council maybe
so,
passed
so
that.
what-
They tried to hit us
what's the
again.
scale for the next 2 years from now? till-
They're saying 8%, 7%. We're working on that though.
Okay, now, I guess my main question is, seems how we pay so much more, and then my own council, nothing against anyone here, tells me that you can't drink it.
So
How is that not a lawsuit?
we addressed that with them as well, and their water quality complies with the EPA requirements. It is potable, you can drink it, you can bathe with it. My understanding, and I'm not a water expert, is that any contaminants are, how do they refer that?
There's actually a report on, if you get on Feed City's website.
Yeah, we did.
We're required now for the EPA to post a report of all contaminants, everything that we test for. And we're testing Canton water. There's really no difference in where it comes from there to where we pick it up at, just a pipe that sends it down. So that's actually on the website. It's on-
I was just curious, because I've heard so many people say they can't.
I use a
I
filter
drink a
on it.
gallon and a half of it a day.
You know,
I
Gary, you
mean,
took that after what Mr. Fair said, because he does not like Canton water.
I don't like.
No, I
Canton.
took it from over the years.
Yeah,
You know what?
Many
I'm a
people.
resident and I really
Well,
like
that's
the
fine,
water, so.
that's fine, Deb, I know a lot of people that don't and won't.
Yeah,
But, that's just a question. On May 31st, 2019, prior to this, I had made multiple complaints or requests to have something repaired. And that is the alley by my house. It's unsafe. I mean, you're better off with a real dirt road than what's down there. And there's damage to my property. I made a police report. On May 31st, 2019, I'd just like to know what happened to that police report, because I reported damage to my property, because Pete's Gravel's coming down there and destroying my driveway, and Jimbo's, and the other neighbors. So, I just want that looked at. Someone please take care of that.
Where'd you find out about that, Chief, Andy?
I'm sorry, I was.
Oh, he said he made a police report about damage to his property?
I'd have to look at the.
Yeah, that was on May 31st of 2019, Chief.
Okay.
Yeah, he was kind enough to come out. I just wanted somebody to take notice of this,
What was the, I guess my question, what was the criminal, what happened?
Well, the damage is, the pea gravel comes down the alley. Tar did make a actual curb there, so the water doesn't run in my yard because it floods.
Okay.
Okay, well then, before that, all the gravel from all the streets up above will come down from water and lay in my driveway. And then when you drive over it, it chips the heck out of your driveway. So I got big chunks of concrete out now.
It sounds more, I'm not trying to deflect it, it sounds more civil than it does on the criminal side of.
Well, I don't care who.
We have a police report, I believe it was
That's-
Highland who took the,
I'm not sure the officer's
and I'm
name.
trying to.
We can
think
go
about
today
this.
and find a report.
Yeah, I mean, he was a
Yeah,
nice
we can
guy,
find
there was no
out.
problem there. I just want something done with it. I've been there 17 years, nobody's ever touched it except throw pea gravel on it.
I got a question. When we had the street sweeper, did it?
No, they don't come up, they did one time, and then,
Did it clean it up?
yeah, it does. But it just,
It's out
the
of
pea gravel
condition.
just keeps continuing, it just chips off what they put in. And you can come down and see for yourself,
Oh, I was
John,
down there the other-
it's not good. You
Okay.
try to back a motorcycle, even my neighbor was an elderly lady, was afraid to even walk on it. Because it's just like pea gravel, it's just everywhere. And, I know people don't have money, whatever, but something's gotta be done. It's been too long.
No, we have street levy, we could have a street sweeper.
Yeah, well,
I
that's,
don't have a street sweeper, but we still have the street sweeper, right, it just needs, yeah. Okay.
and,
Give us something to do.
okay, now, I have video of these two, and some of you older members here have heard me complain about Ballpark Road, the sewer line down there. Are they gonna do anything about that, or is this, that was, I got that too.
Is that the EPA one?
That's the EPA one. I can explain all that if you guys ever wanted to hear that. They did not drop that case. That guy quit from AEP. And he also had another lady there with him taking tests at the very same time I was down there video, saying, yes, that is sewer, yes, that is toilet paper. So when he went back to Columbus, he resigned. He went somewhere else. So to start the new case, I would have had to go back to the Ohio Attorney General's office. Start a whole new case, so I didn't do that. But I got his card, I got his number, I got videos. I got video of sewer coming right up out of the drains. I got pictures of toilet paper. And I've been kind and talked to the sewer man down there, and he says it's water, and I guarantee it ain't water. The first two pipes, he says that the sewer lines don't have no holes in the lids. Well, the first lid on that sewer line does, and the very end sewer line does. All the ones in between are solid, and it's caving in. The whole line down there is caving in. Now, I know our new administrator don't know about that, but I'll send him pictures to prove it if you'd like to see it.
Okay.
I'll pull our maps of where our lines are, and I'll get back to you sometime here next week.
Because when I was down there, and those people were down there, they were checking the river down there to see what our contaminants were going in the river. Well, that was coming up out of the water when they were there. And I said, you can see where it runs right down into the river. They said, yeah. But that's why that was dropped. And it's bad down there. I mean, I'll send anybody here pictures or videos that want to see it. And
The guy that resigned was an EPA guy?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I got his name and number and everything. So that's about it. I just want my alley fixed and, somebody look at my driveway. And I got one more thing. I'll invite anyone here to go on a 15-minute walk with me so I can show you the dangers in the radiation coming into this town. I bought a meter for that reason. You walk from my garage up to here, around the corner, and there's been 6 people almost died from it. 2 from cancer. I got a brain tumor. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but this thing, my meter, I walk out of my garage door and I hold it up and it goes beep, 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 harmful, harmful, harmful. Walk up the street, all up the street, harmful, harmful, harmful. And same way with the dirty electric. And I'll invite anyone here who wants to go on the walk, even tonight. But that's all I have to say. Thank you guys and have a good evening.
I got one question for
Sure,
you.
Franny.
Where you say you find toilet paper down at the end of the road down here, where's it coming out of?
Out of the drains. The drains are caving in and it's coming out of the sides of the...
You ain't talking about this old storm sewer drain that goes down into the river, are you? Cause
See, now-
that's caved in a lot.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. The first one is a storm sewer. The first one comes down the hill. There's a
We're
big...
talking at the end of the street.
Right, and there's a big lid on there with a hole, which means it's not sewer. You go from there all the way back to the sewer plant and they're solid, which is sewer.
The reason they're solid is because when it floods out, we don't have to do that.
It says sewer right on it, Franny.
But they gotta be all closed.
They're closed, but the sides are caving in. It's coming out the sides of the lids themselves. I'll show you
I
a
drove
video.
down that road the
You
other
guys wanna
day
see
and
a
I didn't see
video right
nothing.
now? You guys wanna see a video?
No, but I'll go look at it.
All right, I'll show you.
See, the only thing that I can remember caving in is the old storm sewer that came down from here, and it caved in before it got down to the river. That's always caved in.
Well, I'm just telling you, friend, you go down there and those lids were this high and now they're below the ground. And then everybody says that they're having problems with the sewer lines because of ladies' tampons and things. I don't believe that. I believe that your sewer lines are half
That
as
was
big
2
as they
weeks that I
should
was
be.
down there, and I never seen nothing like that. So I'll
Come
go
on,
back
friend,
down.
let's go for a
Oh,
ride.
I'll go back down and look at it.
You ain't gonna see nothing, you ain't gonna see nothing but drains below the ground. And when I took the video, they were 4 inches above the ground.
I didn't see nothing like that. I'll look at it.
Okay, well, you're welcome to, and I wanna thank everybody, and that's it.
Thanks, Gary. All right, fire, Mr. Anderson. Chief Anderson.
I got just a few quick things. Total calls year to date, excuse me, is 119. As of the same date in 2019, we ran 111 calls. Our mutual aid summaries provided there. We provided mutual aid to Brewster 3 times. We received mutual aid from Brewster 1 time and received mutual aid from Wilmot 1 time. I put on the back there on the second page a detailed list of our calls. I do that for our association meetings. As you can see, most of our calls were EMS runs. We did have two trees down on wires, one in the village and one outside of the village. Did we get that straightened out? I know that was a question as to whether that was the village's responsibility or that's all been taken care of. Okay, so in a situation like that, I'll get with you so I know what the answer is, because I couldn't answer that question. So.
Was that a tree you're talking about?
Yes, there was a tree that come down it was by Legion Street, come down right across in front of the Legion.
That's on Third, okay.
Yeah, it was on Third, but the tree was actually off of, that's Legion, goes up the hill, right?
Yes.
The tree was actually in the tree line going up the hill on Legion, right at the corner of Third and Legion.
Okay, what was the question on that there?
So the question was that the owners of the residents or renters, whichever they may be, were curious as to who was liable, and I couldn't answer that question, and
It's their tree.
okay, I didn't know, because it was in the tree lawn, so I'll get with you, Greg, and we can discuss that. But anyway, we cut the tree, we got the wires picked up, and everything was taken care of. I want to remind everybody, I put this in the last 3 times, Fire Cat will be in, it's actually next Saturday, to do all our hose testing on our trucks. The expense is already approved. They are going to be here about 8 o'clock. So if anybody questions why our fire engines and tanker truck are over at the Fairless, it'll either be the middle school or elementary school. That's why they're testing our hose. We are hooking on to Brewster's water supply, and Chief Calusi assured me there'd be no problems. They're testing Wilmot and Brewster's on Friday and Beach City's on Saturday. So the only thing we'll have in it's the cost for them to actually come out and test and reload, and they do a lot of stuff with that. So it takes a lot of burden off of us over at the station. The new marked pagers that you guys approved at the special meeting, they are ordered. The last I talked to Staley's, they were waiting for them to come in. We're still hoping the week time. She seems like we did it in time to get them 50 that were in stock or part of them. They are ordered. I do not have a better update as to when they'll be in or when they'll be programmed. But they're done. Also done was a strobe light you guys approved that got torn off the front of the tanker truck. It's ordered. It come in right at about $350, which is what we approved. It was ordered through Fenley Fire, and it should be here hopefully in a few weeks, and we can get it back on. That's not holding that truck out of service, but you know, it looks bad. It needs fixed. One thing I'm asking for permission tonight, and we've already approved this. I don't know if you got a chance to look up that PO for Dustin King.
Yeah, I did.
We approved sending Dustin King to Stark State Fire School for a 36-hour volunteer firefighter course. With everything going on with Corona and everything got canceled, Stark State, I don't believe we sent them any money. I think it got canceled before we even dispersed the money. We approved it, but we never dispersed money. With that being said, Erie Valley is actually hosting a 36-hour volunteer firefighter course starting in July. Dustin, this schedule meets his schedule, it works with his schedule. I would like permission to just switch that PO. The PO number was 4543. I would like to switch that PO from Stark State Fire School over to, I believe it's going to be University of Akron is who's hosting the class at Erie Valley. The cost should be comparable. I know the cost for Erie Valleys is $585. And that seems to ring a bell with Stark State, if you remember what we approved the PO for.
I make a motion, we send him.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Like I said, this money's all been pre-approved. This was taken out at the beginning of the year. It should be earmarked. It should be, you know.
Are they
it's in
having
the
that
account.
at the new place in Navarre then?
They are, yes. They're doing it in Erie Valley. It's actually being hosted by University of Akron. I actually have two that need the training. I have Dustin and Jesse Bryan. Jesse cannot attend this course. It does not fit with his work schedule, and he's going on vacation around that time. So, but I'd like to at least get Dustin in and get him trained. Dustin's a real good guy and a good asset for us, and unfortunately, when we drop a fire, he can't do too much without his training, so. Only money I'm actually asking for tonight, if you guys remember, I brought up, I knew it was coming, it's cheap. I brought up the programming of the Tusk County frequencies for the radios. Tusk County is on Marks. I told you guys that last Monday when we had the special meeting. We cannot talk to Tusk County at this time because they went live on Marks. Going through Staley's is at $15 a radio to reprogram. We have 36 radios, that's portables, mobiles, in the trucks and everything. And it's gonna be $540 to redo the programming. I would like permission to get that done. I don't know when Staley's can fit it in, but as long as I got permission from here, then I can work with them on their schedule rather than having to try to be the middleman between the two, so. That's all the money I'm asking for.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Then the last thing I got, and I'll need approval for this, and I forgot to put it on the list. John Lee was a firefighter EMT with us for several years. John actually met a new woman. He's engaged. I almost called her his wife, but she's not. But they bought their house together. They moved to Louisville. They're no longer in the area. We've already read it at 3 consecutive meetings at the association, and I need approval for his resignation from the fire department.
So move.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Unless you guys got
Off
something.
his gear, right?
I'm sorry?
He did turn.
And all his equipment's been turned in. Like I said, he actually left 3 months ago. We read at 3 consecutive meetings. Number one, that gives a chance for anybody that may want to come back to come back. And we actually approved it at our last business meeting. It was his 3rd reading, and then I bring it to you guys. But yeah, all equipment's been returned. John definitely left on good terms. I said if anything changes and you guys move back to the area, we'd be more than happy to take him back. So, but that's all I got, unless you guys got something for me.
I got one question.
Sure.
Me and Jack was talking about earlier. I noticed that the last couple calls I heard, they were toning out Brewster and Beach City for Brewster, for the EMS calls. Why is, because usually that's just fire.
That is strictly a mistake on our dispatch center.
Okay.
The call before last, they actually set our tones, and when they advised it, they never said a CAD page. When they advised, they said respond to Sheer Foods. And I called Red Center, I said, hey, is that at Sheer Foods? I thought maybe it was at Correll's. He said affirmative, it's at Shears. I said, well, you might want to tone Brewster. He goes, oh my God, did we tone Beach City? I said, yes, you did.
Okay.
So they're training a lot of new people up there. And then the last call, they simulcast us, Beach City and Brewster together for a squad called Brewster. And I called him and Cody said, I'm trying. He said, it's a training period they're going through. They got some new dispatchers and hopefully don't keep up. But I mean, it's not costing us any money. It's just unfortunate
I know
the sirens
that.
ringing.
Don't they have a supervisor there with these guys that's operating this thing?
They do. Yep, they do.
As long as they don't not call us when they need us.
No,
you know,
no,
I really-
it's never been, unfortunately, lately, they've been toning us, and it's
Right.
not even our emergency run, it's Brewster's, so. I don't know if maybe something's changed, because Brewster's made that jump to 800, maybe something's changed in the console for them that they're used to doing, and now they do it differently. I can't answer that for sure. I do know it ain't even been the last calls with Brewster, it's just been the last several calls. For some reason, they've dual toned both of us, and it's Brewster's run, so we don't go anywhere. So if the siren rings and we don't go out the door, don't necessarily think we didn't turn a crew. Sometimes it's not even our run, so.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Yep.
All right, Chief Guy.
Alright, don't have too much for you tonight. First off, we had a meeting with the department last Sunday. Had all the officers together. Came down here, the mayor came here, I had the director of dispatch come down here, I had Cody here, and our prosecutor came in. So it was a good, I'd say it was a really good opportunity for my guys to learn, and for dispatch to be able to talk to the guys, see what they need. It was a really good together cooperative thing where, you know, Cody was explaining what his issues were with dispatch. My guys got a chance to explain, you know, maybe not their issues, but what they could do better or how to improve all around. We got some good things out of it, as well as with our prosecutor here. He was able to speak to them, they were to ask him questions, the mayor was here with us, and so it's really good. Then afterwards, we went back to the police department, just completely gave it a haul over, cleaned it up, got everything organized and back into, since everything happened with COVID, me and Greg haven't really been back there, so it was just a good refresh, great meeting. I think we got a lot out of it. I think probably one of the more beneficial meetings we've had. On the on the vehicles, the SUV has an issue with the battery. It's not staying charged. I don't believe that battery is more than a year old. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's less than 6 months old. So we're gonna look into that to see about getting it replaced. Wilmot's car, the black car, had a battery issue. They replaced that battery, and it should have been covered under warranty for that one. The other Wilmot car, the black and white car, is in the shop right now getting, new tires, alignment. There's a issue with the gas tank. They're getting that fixed, so it'll be back up here. But other than that, everything's running fairly smooth. I can't think of anything else. Calls are back up. I've increased the hours. Had officers out at different times just to keep everybody thrown off and try to get more coverage. So other than that, we're moving along. And I don't need any money this meeting, but eventually I'm gonna need, I wanna send Kylan, one of my officers, to field training school. I've got plenty of funding in my, our training account for that. That won't be an issue. Just giving you guys a heads up, that's something I'll be asking for probably the next couple meetings when they get their classes back rolling. I wanna get them in some training. But other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Ms. Blau. Come on.
All right, I got a few things. First, Dollar General is done. We've hooked up electric there, and also they did a water tap last Thursday. I just built out the electric and water today. That's finished. Osmos, they're going to be here pole testing, so if you see people looking around poles and kind of marking them and putting things on them, that's what they're doing. They're just checking our distribution system poles to see what they're like. Stephen talked last week about, or 2 weeks ago, about the TAP program, which is that Targeted Acquisition Assistance Program for some of these dilapidated buildings in town or houses that actually are delinquent in taxes. And I'm gonna be submitting for the one that's actually, it's on 3rd Avenue Northeast, and me and John went down last week and got pictures of it.
That's the one that hadn't been mowed?
Yes, Mr. Dunn's.
Yeah,
No, this is.
this one.
Oh,
It'd be Mr. Dunn's.
Okay, I got another one here.
Yeah, we got one at 6th and Cedar, I'll tell you.
So the one on 6th and Cedar, I spoke with a gentleman who actually was interested in doing that, and I'll be calling him tomorrow. He was supposed to call me today. It was actually in his wife's family, and the lady who actually owns it is in her mid-90s, so he was talking with her to see if he could actually just take possession of it instead of the village getting involved and having.
We got relation down here,
Yeah.
right by the fire station.
Okay, somewhere. So
Okay.
that's in. Stark Glass is gonna be here tomorrow. We're gonna be putting glass up back here on our counters. I think we've talked about that before. The trailer on Church that's abandoned down here, Cottrell Excavating, will be here tomorrow to start demolishing that, sorry. Some good news that's officially unofficial. I spoke with the head engineer at Stark County Regional Planning. We submitted back in February a municipal road fund request for 2 parts of Main Street right here, from 2nd Street northeast all the way up here to 93 and then 93 down to 7. Second one did not get approved, but he said the first one was approved, going to commissioners, they gotta have a resolution for it, but they'll unofficially be giving us probably 93,000 for that in order to.
Was they informed that it was a state highway at one time?
They were, it's a secondary county road now is what they call it, they technically consider that with their maps, so it's a secondary county road now.
Because we kept 2 years till we got enough money to do it the last time, and they did it.
Yeah, well, this one, he said, yeah, I can honestly tell you that I was the one that reviewed it and submitted it for approval, and it's just waiting on commissioners now, so that's actually really good. I'll be meeting with our engineer tomorrow, to speak with another engineer, it's Scott Elliott's engineer, about a project he wants to try to do. My second to last thing, hydrant flushing is gonna begin this coming Monday, the 22nd, a week from today. And we'll have flows for all of your stuff, instead of doing 25 year, the actual diffuser that we got is able to do it, getting flows and also getting all of our pressure reading and actually flushing it out. So we're gonna kill 2 of them at once. We should have all the flows you need by the end of, probably end of the week.
Awesome.
So next week, end of next week.
Thanks.
And the biggest thing that I want to talk about, and we need to start considering heavily, it's not a want, it is a need, is our backhoe. Here within the past week and a half to 2 weeks. We have a radiator, shuttle switch, starter, exhaust manifold all go out. It's gonna be 40 years old in 2 years. We've gotten everything we need out of it. It's starting to become a really big drain because the radiator that we actually got to replace, they don't even make anymore. It needed to be re-cored. And for about the tune of $1,500, and I don't want to keep throwing money into something that we no longer have a use for other than just to load with. Granted, it's been in the village since 1982. That was 2 years before I was born. Not that I'm saying I'm old, but I'm just saying it's been here for 38 years. So I can get a lot of estimates and whatever. We can look at a lot of things, but it's a need and not a want. I don't want to do it. It's a need now. It's becoming to the point where we're putting more money into it than it's actually worth. So that's all I have. I can look into getting some prices and everything together for that, but I'm not saying it has to happen tomorrow, but it has to happen soon before something seriously wrong happens and we're gonna have to be replacing it anyway. So that is all I got. Questions?
The house down here at the corner of Third and Main Street, where it hadn't been mowed for a long time. The people at the Legion had been mowing the back end by the garage. Nobody's living in that house. Could you look into, maybe we could do the same thing to that house we did to the trailer down here?
It's, we could try that. Are you talking about the delinquent tax thing with are you talking with what we did with the trailer, trying to get it? We
Yeah,
could do
right.
that. Yeah, I could look.
I didn't know they moved out. I was wondering why that was.
There's nobody been
I
living
talked
in
to-
there. The neighbor told me it's never been lived in since the flood.
I could get it for you.
When it
Oh,
flooded
back-
in
oh, yeah,
May.
that was a long time.
Since my mom lived there.
Oh, was it?
I'm pretty sure no one moved in
I don't think
afterwards.
there's a link. I'll have to look them up.
Okay.
Yeah, we could try that for
Check
sure.
out.
I mean, it's.
I don't know,
She let
tax.
it go, so.
Chief, did we send somebody
The
down
bank
there
run-
about
the bank
mowing?
runs it.
Because
We've
they never
sent,
got hold of anybody, right? Because there's nobody there. So we'll, and I do wanna,
Yeah,
Well,
trying
I-
to track these people down is
yeah,
very interesting.
because we are trying to contact people about mowing their grass. We are doing that, so if anybody sees anything, let me know.
I had my officer go out again today,
Okay.
not to interrupt you, and
No,
look
that's
at
fine.
properties he literally found, was it 3?
Three, I think it's
And
three.
2 of them that we are already addressing, the 3rd one being that one.
Okay. All right, that's good. Is that all there, Derek?
That's all. I
Yeah, you
got.
guys have to remember about the backhoe too, Greg explains it, every department uses that.
It's
And
not
it's
just
used
one.
every day and it's a miracle it's still around for 38 years, that's pretty good.
Does the state have anything at all?
We can look at state
Program.
purchasing, we can look at that. I mean, I'm not gonna say that they do or they don't, because I haven't looked at them yet exclusively, I've looked other places for them, and I mean, I'm not saying we have to buy something brand new, I'm not
No.
saying that.
A
'cause I
state
want-
contract would be a brand new.
Yeah, and it would be, I mean, and you can find, the one that I found is a 2016 with 458 hours, and it's 40,000 less than a brand new one. So something with 458, that's barely used,
What
I
was the price
mean,
of it? Yeah.
63,000, I believe.
In
Actually,
other words, them new things are costing 100 and some thousand?
that was for just a second, that was for a JCB, so it's a good backhoe, but that's
Is it the same size or is it bigger or smaller?
same size roughly, and that's the other thing we gotta figure out dimensionally, because we don't wanna get anything bigger, because then you're looking at trying to knock it through. You may have to move stones if you're gonna dig a grade, depending on where you end up being.
Do we have to buy different buckets? for the new one, than what we
Depending.
already got for like the cemetery and that.
We probably, depending on what the new bucket would have feature-wise and everything, it would have to be something that we'd have to look at, yeah. So, and there's also Tracos too, which are cheaper, but then you have to look at trying to transport them. We've got some going to Wilmot and sewer related out there, and we have to transport it, so. There's a lot of options out there, I'm not saying that there isn't, I'm just saying that it's going to need to be addressed here with a very short time. And there's nothing to say, we're gonna keep our old backer, we can load salt with that, we can do a lot of things still with it and keep it in case something happens, it's something that we get to do.
You keep keeping everything else, it's more insurance, but we gotta cover everything. So look into that too, while you're at
Yeah,
it.
that's the other thing I forgot to say, I just got off the, phone Friday with our insurance company with our risk plan for Ohio, what is it, Ohio plan?
Ohio.
Yeah, for a risk, assessment plan and just all the things that we should be doing. He didn't bring up anything crazy, but he had about 1,000 questions for me, so I got the report and survey in there if anybody wants to look at it. Talked my ear off for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's it.
All right, thank you. Solicitor Babbitt.
So just two things real quick. One is I think by next meeting, there should be further developments with the stay-at-home order. As I think we discussed last meeting, the director of the Department of Health had extended it through the month of June. A lot of people that I've spoken with believe that there's going to be some overhaul of that, maybe moving towards a less, with fewer restrictions on it. So I think by next meeting, by the end of the month, that'll be revised. So I'll definitely get that together and update everybody then. The only other issue or item is that, as you probably saw today, the United States Supreme Court determined that Title VII of the Civil Rights Act applies to sexual orientation and transgender. So if there's any employees currently or in the future of the village, should they be, their sexual orientation or transgender status would be protected in the same manner as other protected classes that we commonly think of, like race, color, religion, sex, things like that. So it was a big case that had come out this morning. I thought I'd update everybody on it. And aside from that, I do not have anything.
Thank you, Steve. Well, I gotta read Mrs. Matheny's resignation again since I did during executive session last time. So we don't have it recorded, so. I would like to express my appreciation for the employment over the last 18 years with the Village of Beach City. I truly love my job, thankful for the years here. However, due to the COVID-19, I feel that my time has come to leave for the safety of myself as well as my husband and my son Andrew. Thank you for the great years. We'll miss you all very much. Sincerely, Kathy Matheny. So that's her resignation. I guess we'll need a motion for that
Motion.
Second.
to accept.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Shaw.
Yes.
And, see, we killed everything I had done. Oh, Mr. Matheny got us our new trolley park sign. I guess he brought that in Friday, so we'll be, did you talk to, anybody about putting that up, Deb?
Rick knows it's here, but Rick had a burial to start today for tomorrow,
So it'll be probably new one will probably be up sometime this week. I looked at it today, it's really, really almost identical to the other one. They did a really nice job on it, so.
Did you have that sign down there at the park?
The old sign is right behind it.
I don't
yeah.
remember ever seeing that
Oh,
down there.
yeah, it's there, cause I'd see it every time I went home, go down church.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they did. That one's a little bit, I think it's a little bit taller, it looks like, but it's really nice, so. That's about all. Do we have any questions, comments? Yes, Mrs. Shockey. Ms.
Have
Shockey.
we gotten a schedule for mosquito spraying yet?
No, they have
Let's
not
go, yeah.
reported to me, and I'll tell you what, that gives me something to do again tomorrow, I'll do that too. I got that meeting with Craig, so, mosquitoes, yeah. Usually, I don't know why, and it always burns me too. Sometimes they don't get around to that until July, and I
After
never
July 4th,
understood it.
that
It's
one
like,
year.
you waste half of that summer waiting for them, and then they pound it like 6 times. They're doing it in September, it's like, it's football season, they don't know
Yeah.
what mosquitoes. I don't know, no, that's all.
Who
Anybody
who
else?
do we have on the cemetery board now?
My son John, Bill, Stanky, and Mr.
Lawner.
Lawner, Mr. Lawner. So those are the three. And then Debbie was there and I was there, we was all, we went through it. Rick will be at the next one, he wasn't at this one, but, yeah, so we got some time. Probably, I'd say probably the second meeting in July, they'll have, you know, what they need and stuff, and, or whatever they consider. That's what I would believe. Did you have a
Yes,
question, Hazel?
I was wondering, you don't have a lot of expenses. I wonder if maybe a list couldn't be put together of the equipment in each one of the departments and about some idea when it had to be replaced.
We
So
have
we
that,
can
don't we,
kind of-
Tim? Or, yeah, we have that.
Yeah, you have the list, so I'd like to know like.
When you want to,
Yeah, when we-
I don't think you want to know when
You
they have to be
don't.
replaced, because about everything we have, I think was, the last that was bought was like in the eighties. So
I
we're,
think it would help
oh, yeah, well,
mentally to think
it's,
about when maybe whatever equipment might need to be replaced.
it's like the street sweeper, you can't use it anymore.
I think that thing was made in the fifties, if I'm not mistaken.
With the street sweeper?
Yeah.
No, we looked it up.
It's 81.
Oh.
It looks like it's
It looks
on.
like it's 81.
But yeah, we have
It's
a
an
list
Elgin,
of,
81 Elgin street
and,
sweeper.
me and Greg will go through that and see what
We're
we
not
got,
using
and
street
we'll-
sweeper at all then?
We haven't used that.
Years.
Oh, it's been a long time
Yes, we
since we
have.
used it. Have we?
He's using
Oh, I
on
haven't
Main
seen
Street.
it. Oh, really? I haven't never seen it.
They said the street sweeper went in front of my house not too long ago.
Can we send it down Gary's Alley then?
I don't know why they
We'd have
couldn't.
to talk to Rick, but it's like another thing around here, it needs repaired because we haven't
Yeah.
repaired anything for so many years.
Right, and it's a really big problem because
Well, Gary, yeah,
they don't,
I thought
so much
about
pea gravel, and I know you guys gotta get rid of that as a toxic waste, right? Am I correct with that?
that I'm not sure on that one.
I don't think you want to send it down through that alley because it's gonna throw stuff on his cement.
You can't keep nothing off my cement, Franny, it just, as soon as it rains, it just tears it up.
I'll talk to Rick, we'll see, I'll see if we gotta do something about that.
Yeah, we've been using it.
Okay, I didn't know that, cause I haven't seen him for a long
Yeah,
time.
last time I talked to Rick, well, that was right after I became mayor, they hadn't used it for, I didn't think they ever did use it again.
He did use it for a while, but it was thrown out way more than it was bringing in. It was just like,
Oh,
it needs
it was
repair.
like a
Last time I
bad-
talked to him, he had to fix it too,
Yeah.
each time.
Okay. All right.
I'll talk to him about it.
And now, me and Greg get together and we'll see what
Yeah.
we got. We'll get one like.
I'll get you a list, Hazel, of mine.
Insurance list, Mayor, that we can get her.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Greg, did your grandmother pass away?
She did.
Yes.
She passed away Friday evening.
My condolences to your family.
Yeah, I'll be having a funeral Wednesday. My last living grandparent.
That it? Okey-dokey. Meeting's adjourned.